Hi everyone, it's Tony Richards and welcome to today's Life Focus. Today I want to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness, because I think as a leader, we have to understand and learn how to forgive and the importance of forgiveness. And I want to use a personal story to highlight and kind of underscore the reason that we need to forgive. Back when I was in college, my freshman year in college, when I was growing up in Chicago, my dad and I were really close. And we did everything together, went to ball games together, hung out together, did a lot of things. And then when I went on to college, we had an argument before I left, and I was really stubborn, and I would not forgive. And I went on to college. And it seemed like every weekend my parents would call and I would talk to my mother, but when she would say, "Your dad wants to talk to you," I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't forgive. And one weekend, about a year into college, my mother called and she said, "Your dad wants to talk to you." And for some reason I said, "Okay." And he said, "I'd like to come up and see you next weekend." And again, I said, I got classes, I'm studying, I'm working. But there was something inside that said, "Go ahead." So I said, "Okay." And they came up that next weekend. And on Saturday, it was very difficult, and didn't talk much to him. I talked to my mother most of the time. And Sunday, when they were getting ready to leave, he said, "Let's go for a walk." So as we were walking, it's like the Holy Spirit just came upon me and just broke me down. And I just started crying, and we both started crying, and we both talked, and we said we loved each other, and we hugged each other. And I resolved at that point, I said, "I forgive you." And he said, "I forgive you too." And we resolved that we were going to be back to the way we were, closer and keeping in touch more. And they went back to Chicago that Sunday. The next night, I got a phone call that he suddenly died of a massive heart attack. And I learned a very valuable lesson, and has stayed with me all these years. We do get upset with people. We get angry. It's not easy, but we have to forgive. And as a leader, we have to learn how to forgive too, because the people that you lead, they say things and they do things that you don't agree with all the time, or you don't feel is the right thing to say or the right thing to do at that moment, but yet they do. And sometimes we harbor those things and we carry those things with us. But you can't do that. You have to say, "You know what? I forgive." Your family, you have to forgive. You may not have talked to your son or your daughter or your spouse for years. You may be walking around carrying a grudge. Maybe you're jealous because they're getting more attention. You have to forgive. You have to learn how to say, "I forgive." First one you have to forgive, and that's the toughest one, is yourself. Because you see, you're the one that's been blocking everything. You're the one that's stopped them and stopped the relationship many times from growing. So, as a leader, forgive. Forgive others. Forgive the situations. Forgive what's happening around you. It's really not worth it. It's really not all that important. Now, I'm not saying it's not easy, but I'm saying in the big picture, because you see, when they're gone, you're not going to have that opportunity to get back together. You're not going to have the opportunity to say, "I'm sorry." You're not going to have the opportunity to forgive. So understand the importance of that word, but more importantly, understand the importance of the meaning behind it. And understand the importance of letting go. Your whole life will change, and you'll see things very differently. So take the time, understand, and learn to forgive. And when you learn to forgive, you'll go forward. Thanks for joining me today. Write me at TonyRichardsSpeaking@gmail.com. Check out my website at TonyRichards.net. Have a great evening wherever you are, or a great morning, wherever you may be. Don't hold grudges. Forgive. Forgive others. Forgive situations. Forgive the moment. Forgive yourself and go forward.